One of the conversations that we've been having with our mining clients is around the area of risk management. Typically, a mining company operates in a high-risk environment. There is life safety issues, environmental issues, they're operating in a hostile geography. So risk is very much first and foremost in their minds. One of the challenges is traditional risk management approaches typically look for the predictable, the known risks, and they tend to focus in on those risks that have the greatest impact, and it's the intersection of the two. However, one of the conversations we're having more recently is around the idea of black swans. How do we find those risks that are very unpredictable but still have a significant impact on the business? Taleb, in his book, talked about black swans as being, as all consequential events in history have always come from the unexpected. So how do we look for the unexpected? That seems to be one of the challenges, particularly when there's a human bias or a human nature is to filter out the unexpected. We tend to look for the obvious. Traditionally, the black swan events, they don't really occur because of any one significant disaster. Typically what they are is a domino effect or a ripple effect of a small series of issues that grow. In a mining company, it could be just simply a tailings dam issue or a collapse in a wall, which then creates some sort of environmental issue, which becomes a regional or a local community issue, and so on, a health and safety issue. And they become a domino effect or a ripple effect of disasters, which in combination, when you look back, become a significant event but highly unpredictable. So one of the challenges is how do we address this notion of black swan? Where do we find them? How do we uncover them if we're totally focused on the high risk, high likelihood event? So the opportunity is to stand back and look at what's the worst that could happen. We could lose our license to operate, we could lose access to a certain element of our site, we could have a life safety issue or a loss of life. So what are the events that could lead towards that? And start looking at a series of events or scenarios, and that's typically the way most organizations are addressing those. But typically it's a very different approach, as I say, than in your traditional risk management approach. People by and large understand the risks to their business, to their jobs, and they typically do a pretty good job of managing those. The real opportunity here is to take people into a room and have a conversation about what's the worst that can happen and what are the things that could lead into that, and have that conversation. And typically we find it may not identify anything dramatic, but certainly as an awareness and an opportunity to start identifying and building into the culture the idea of looking for these series of risks or events that could create a disaster. And particularly in a mining company where you are in a hostile location or in a difficult environmental space, again, looking for those root causes or those small issues that could then grow and escalate, and then create a system for escalating them up in the organization so they can be prevented.